What if I told you that some of the most powerful psychological tricks used in advertising, politics, and even everyday conversations are completely invisible to most people, yet they can control your decisions without you ever realizing it? Today, we're diving deep into the hidden world of psychological influence, specifically 6 powerful psychological tricks so persuasive, they feel like they should be illegal. These are not just any tricks. They come from the mind of Robert Cialdini, the world-renowned psychologist behind the book Persuasion, the secret science of influence that happens before persuasion even begins. And here's the kicker. These tactics aren't just theoretical. They're being used on you every day. By marketers, by politicians, even by people you trust. So grab a drink, settle in, and pay close attention. Because by the end of this video, you won't just recognize these tricks. You'll know how to protect yourself from them, and even use them for good. And hey, if you find this video valuable at any point, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with someone you care about. Let's make emotional intelligence go viral. Now let's begin with psychological trick number 1. Trick 1. The privileged moment. Imagine you're walking into a job interview. You've done your research. You're ready. But just before you walk into the room, someone says, "Wow, everyone they've hired this month has been incredibly confident." That one sentence, right before the interview, does something strange to your mind. Without knowing it, you shift your behavior. You stand taller. You speak louder. You act more confidently. And you don't even realize you're doing it. This is called a privileged moment. In Robert Cialdini's Pre-Suasion model, it's the brief window of time before you ask for something, where the setup is more important than the request itself. Most people think persuasion starts when you make the argument. But real influence? It starts long before that. It starts with what you focus the other person's attention on. By directing someone's focus to a specific trait, emotion, or memory right before the decision moment, you tilt the outcome without them realizing it. Advertisers use this constantly. For example, websites selling security systems often start by showing you images of burglaries or violence. Not because it proves their product is good, but because it triggers a psychological state of vulnerability. And when people feel vulnerable, they're more likely to buy protection. If this is blowing your mind already, pause for a moment and drop a comment below saying, "I see it now." Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Trick 2. Association by attention. Let me ask you something. Why do brands spend millions putting their logos next to powerful athletes or beautiful celebrities? It's not about logic. It's about association. Cialdini explains that whatever we pay attention to in a specific moment becomes infused with whatever is in the environment. So when you see a luxury watch next to a high-status individual, your brain doesn't think, "Oh, this person owns that watch." Instead, it starts to associate status with the watch itself. It's psychological sleight of hand. Your brain merges ideas just because they're near each other. And here's the dangerous part. You don't even need to be conscious of the connection for it to work. In fact, studies show that people who see images of family values before reading political statements are more likely to support conservative views. Likewise, people who see images of diversity are more likely to support progressive ones. Not because they changed their beliefs, but because of what was in their mental environment right before they made a decision. That's the essence of persuasion. The setup is the secret. Trick 3. Anchoring the narrative. Picture this. You're shopping online for a pair of headphones. The first pair you see is priced at $400. The second pair is $120. Suddenly, $120 seems like a bargain, even though it might still be overpriced. This is called anchoring. Anchoring is when the first piece of information you encounter sets the tone for everything that follows. In persuasion, the anchor doesn't have to be true. It just has to be first. Salespeople know this. Negotiators exploit this. And yes, even your friends and family do it, whether they mean to or not. Let's say you're debating a controversial issue. If someone starts by saying, "Most reasonable people agree," that's an anchor. It frames your disagreement as unreasonable before the debate even starts. Anchors work because the brain clings to initial information as a reference point. even if that reference is totally irrelevant. So next time someone throws out a big number or a bold claim up front, ask yourself, are they anchoring me? If this is helping you become more aware, hit the subscribe button right now. Because Elevate Minds 360 is all about unlocking the tools of the mind for those who dare to look deeper. Trick 4. The power of questions. Here's a fun fact. Questions are more powerful than statements. Let me prove it. If I say, you're an honest person, you might agree, or you might not. But if I ask, are you an honest person? Your brain lights up. You begin searching for proof. You start justifying. In Persuasion, Cialdini calls this persuasive questioning. If a manager asks their team, are we committed to excellence? That's a trick. It assumes commitment is already there and invites you to agree. Politicians do this constantly. Do you want your children to grow up safe? Do you want to keep more of your money? Of course you do. But these questions aren't about answers, they're about alignment. Even job interviews use this. When they ask, are you the kind of person who thrives under pressure? They're planting the suggestion before the evaluation. So if you ever want to influence someone subtly, ask the right question before making the pitch. By the way, what's the most powerful question someone has ever asked you? Let us know in the comments. You never know who might need it. Trick 5. The magnet of identity. This one is as old as human nature, and yet, so often misunderstood. People don't just want to be right. They want to be consistent with who they believe they are. So what happens when someone makes you feel like your identity is at stake? They win. Let's say you're in a negotiation and someone says, you strike me as someone who always does the right thing, even when it's hard. Suddenly, your behavior is being measured against your self-image. And you'll work hard to live up to it, even if it costs you. This is identity persuasion. And it's everywhere. Brands do this when they say, smart people choose this option. You don't want to be dumb, so you buy in. Politicians do this when they say, true patriots support this cause. You want to be patriotic, so you comply. Even scammers use this when they say, only people who don't care about their families would ignore this opportunity. It's manipulation masked as flattery. But here's the twist. You can use this ethically too. To lift people up. To remind them who they are at their best. To guide them back to integrity. So next time you want to inspire, not just persuade, ask yourself, what identity am I appealing to? If this resonates with you, share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Sometimes, one insight can protect a lifetime of decisions. And finally, trick 6. Persuading with emotion. Emotion is contagious. But in persuasion, the key isn't just using emotion, it's triggering it in advance. If you want someone to say yes to something, get them into the emotional state they would feel after saying yes, before you even make the offer. Let's break that down. If you want someone to feel generous, get them to think about a time they received kindness. If you want someone to feel excited, show them images of progress, success, motion. Studies show that if you ask someone to recall a time they felt powerful, they're more likely to take risks immediately after. It's not magic. It's biology. Emotions narrow focus, prime behavior, and direct energy. This is why great speakers start with emotional stories. Why fundraisers show powerful visuals before asking for donations. Why leaders paint a hopeful vision before asking for hard work. They're shaping the emotional lens before the logic kicks in. Now that you know these 6 tricks, you can't unsee them. You'll start noticing them in conversations, ads, media, and negotiations. And most importantly, you'll learn to guard your mind. So let's recap. Number 1. Privileged moments. Control the focus, control the outcome. Number 2. Attention association. What you look at changes how you feel. Number 3. Anchoring. First impressions shape every decision after. Number 4. Questions. Subtle suggestions hidden as curiosity. Number 5. Identity. Appeal to who people want to be. And number 6. Emotion. Set the feeling before the ask. Which of these blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. And if this video helped you see through the noise, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Because the world doesn't just need more knowledge, it needs more wisdom. Until next time, keep your mind sharp and your heart open.